Hello everyone, my name is Uncle Chunt, and this will be my review of Captain America Civil War.
Uncle Chunt, 100% certified Chunty.
So you've probably tuned into this review, and you've seen all this DC related stuff behind me, and you've probably already got preconceived notions of, oh my god, this guy's a DC fanboy, he's going to shit all over it. Well, that's not entirely the case. So, bear with me. So this movie takes place after about 8 movies, or we're up to about 8 movies, I can't remember. But that's a good feat. And throughout all these movies we've come accustomed to these characters, we've grown some kind of relationships with these characters, affinities with these characters, and we're getting a movie where they all fight each other. So how does that happen? I don't quite know. I know it was spelled out for me into the movie, but it just felt not forced, but it didn't make sense to me. The conflict in the film. All these characters have always been joking with one another, slapstick kind of comedy thrown in the mix. All the conflict has had fun elements to it. For all of a sudden, like, this is the most mature Marvel film to date. I'll say that much. There's not a lot of joking in it, but where there is joking, it's kind of, it fits the scene a lot better than a lot of the other type of jokes that we've had and wisecracks throughout these films, and that I appreciate. And when I look back, I see Captain America and Tony Stark having some kind of back and forth conflict throughout the films. Well, they're not quite on the same terms, but they're always buddy-buddy by the end of the films. So to see this one kind of just make a sharp turn and they're fighting at each other's faces, and it just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I don't feel it was natural enough. I don't want to make comparisons to Batman vs Superman, but I can't help that, as their premise is almost the same. You've got the concept of two big icons of each respective universe clashing with one another. I'm not going to go into who does it better, I'm just saying where the conflict worked for me in Batman vs Superman, because they didn't know each other, they don't understand each other. So there was that misinterpretation of characters between them. Whereas Civil War, these two knew each other, they were friends, they were teammates. To suddenly turn on each other as they did, and the fights were pretty intense. Like, they weren't pulling punches at all, especially towards the end. That part just didn't make sense. And without going into too many spoilers, which I'm going to try not to do in this review, the film just felt a bit too diluted to me. There were far too many players, I felt. Some shoehorned almost in for the sake of it, just to be like, look how many people we have in our movie universe, look how many we can get in. A few exceptions were made, and the way they kind of wrote that in and out I felt was kind of funny. Just the obvious that they weren't there for whatever reason. You'll see the movie and you'll understand. They're not key players, but just characters that haven't been in the previous films, and they kind of did it the same here. Age of Ultron, there's a scene in the party where they kind of mention some people that aren't there. They do the same thing here, and I just think that's kind of, it's funny but kind of cringy as well, that they couldn't get him back for whatever reason, or they just didn't want him back and just kind of wrote it out. Anyway, so in saying that the film seemed a bit too diluted to me, just means that I don't think there was enough focus in the film. There was an overlying story arc happening, but there was just so much happening in between that it just all felt a little bit spacey, or just not meaty enough, as if like what was happening was on a surface level, it was just happening. I didn't really see a lot of depth as to what I was seeing on the screen, and you're probably sitting there thinking, you're in a Marvel film, it's superheroes, what do you expect? Anyway, to that I have to say, Captain America Winter Soldier is my favourite Marvel film. It still is, even after this movie. I just felt it was a lot more intense. There was an actual focused story and plot happening. It was thrilling. I felt there were stakes at hand. There were stakes at play in Civil War. The conflict between, well, I guess the relationship breakdown between all the characters was kind of nice to see. A different kind of movie we haven't seen before from Marvel, which was good. I just can't help but feel I walked away kind of a bit flat about it. I don't know if maybe I just expected something else from this film. All the other Avengers type movies, I've kind of walked away from going, yeah, wow, that was quite the spectacle. That's something I haven't seen before. This felt like another type of Avengers film, but a smaller Avengers film, but yet still remained a Captain America movie, which is clever. Captain America's story arc across all these Marvel films has been my favourite story progression, so to see this go where it's gone to has left me like keen to see what happens next. I really like Steve Rogers, the character that Chris Evans plays really well. It's my favourite thing in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's just something about it that stands out amongst all the others. He's like the only one that's still trying to do good and see the good in every circumstance and do right, or what he feels is right to do. I guess I see that characteristic in Superman, who's my favourite character anyway, so those two parallels work for me. This movie kind of does suffer from the whole shoehorn in of, look what's coming, this is coming next, these are your new characters, you must like them, that previous Marvel films have suffered from in the past. This one handles it a lot better though. I'll just say, like, we all know Spider-Man's in this film, but I'm not going to say anything about it because it'll just spoil the enjoyment. All I'm going to say is he's the most enjoyable part of this film, and that's saying something when you've got all the other major players involved. So I'm looking forward to Spider-Man in future Marvel films, most definitely. His scenes, without spoiling anything, were the most fun parts of the movie for me. Another new character in this film is Black Panther, which I want to be the next biggest Marvel property. I really knew nothing about Black Panther going in, and now seeing the film, he's just like serious, takes no shit, no jokes. He knows what he's got to do and just get the hell out of my way. He's such a cool character. He looks awesome, the suit's cool. His whole backstory of Wakanda and all that, it interests me a lot. I can't wait to see his movie whenever that's coming out. So I guess, like, going out of this film and trying to talk about it, I've sat here and digested it a little bit longer than I thought I was going to, but I wanted to have a more truer opinion than just say what's popular. Going out of this film, I ended up liking some of the more lesser known characters more than what we were going to see the movie for. So that to me was a surprise. Captain America still remains my favourite character out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far. Iron Man's story arc, I think it's almost played out. I don't think he's going to be around for much longer, just as the character. I'm not spoiling anything at all, just as the character. I don't really see what else he can contribute going forward. Some parts are also almost sad to see. Some of these actors, they're aging. It's been 8 years. People age, they are not immortal. So seeing that on screen, it kind of takes you back a little bit of how far these movies have come and how much they've done. So this movie really is a feat, a marvel if you will, just because the amount of characters in this movie is quite the achievement, but I think it hampers the experience a little bit just because it dilutes things too much. Don't get me wrong, it's a movie you need to go see, it's highly enjoyable. If you're a Marvel fanboy, this will be like a wet dream for you, really will be. There are so many cool moments in this film. I do like that they took it a bit more seriously as far as the tone this time, which the Russo brothers seem to be doing, just judging on their Winter Soldier movie, which is amazing still. There are some key things I would like to talk about, but I want to keep this as spoil free as I can. I don't want to be that guy. So let me know in the comments below if you want to kind of talk spoilers, or if you want me to do a spoiler talk video. I'm happy to do that. I'll probably need to see it at least one more time just to get a refresher beforehand. But overall, it's an enjoyable film. Don't get me wrong, don't start hating on me just because I'm not raving over the moon about it. To me, I don't think it's like the second coming of Christ like a lot of people online are saying it is or believing it to be. Personally, a lot of the Marvel films have been average at best, with a few standouts like Iron Man 1 and Winter Soldier and Avengers being the three that I hold in high regard as far as these movies have gone. The rest of them have been a bit okay, lukewarm. They're good to watch if they're just on TV. I'll actually sit there and watch them again. But nothing I'll just be like, yeah, that was the best shit ever. I've yet to have that experience yet, besides Avengers. This movie does end with a lot of things to look forward to though, so that is my takeaway from this. It's a good experience, but we have a lot more to look forward to in setting up new characters, as I guess eventually the older ones will be phased out. Anyway, if you hate this review, if you think I'm a DC fanboy for not liking this movie more, or if you think I'm a complete failure as a person, that I don't approve this film as highly as you think I should, let me know below. I'll ignore it completely. I like comics, I like superheroes. I'm just more to DC's side. That's my world. I'll always enjoy that more than Marvel until I'm proven otherwise. Just get over it. I still appreciate your criticism, just make it critical, not offensive. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this film. How many times have you seen it? Are you a Marvel fanboy? Do you hate DC? Leave that shit at home. And until next time, look after yourselves, guys, and toodaloos.
Oh, yes, Uncle Chunty.
Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more, check out these recent videos. If you enjoy Chunty content, you can follow me at Uncle Chunt from these social media outlets. Also, if you're feeling extra awesome and chunty, click that subscribe button and I'll see you on the next one. Toodles!